Hello and welcome to the Norfolk Broads on this glorious November day. I'm setting off from Coltishall and I'm going to be canoeing about 6 kilometres downriver towards Hoveton and Wroxham. So come with me and enjoy the journey. First maiden voyage. Would you believe that it is the 19th of November and the weather is just picture perfect? Very, very still. The river is like a mill pond. The sun is out, it's warm, it's dry, and there's no wind. It's just fantastic. It's an amazing day. So come with me for a short canoe trip from Coltishall downriver through Sevylor, making camp. I've got everything that I need on the canoe, and we'll strike camp, have an evening meal under Tarp, and then tomorrow I'm looking to push on towards Wroxham, Broad and Ranworth. Come along with me and enjoy the scenery. I think it's going to be a good one. This is unbelievable. I guess I bought the canoe because I wanted to go exploring and get away from the madding crowds, get somewhere that's nice and quiet. Just listen to that. A couple of noisy crows over there. Oh, it's fantastic. All I can hear are birds and the ripple of the water. Problem is, I'm taking too long enjoying the scenery. I'm not really making any kind of progress here. Got to be careful because that sun is starting to go pretty low, and I think the temperature tonight is going to drop rapidly with these clear blue skies. Now there's something that you don't see very often. It looks like a pheasant sat on a branch over the river. Let's see if I can get close enough to have a look at him. There he goes. Boat. There they go. Hopefully we won't get capsized by their ripples. There's no chance of that. Oh, just look at this fantastic tree. Beautiful colours. Check this out. Okay, let's find out where we are. We're only about halfway, so a couple of k's to go yet. Better put my foot down. Another forest up ahead. Eventually got the fire going. Wood was a little bit damp, so that was a bit tricky. Just nurtured a few embers, and now it's going okay, so won't be long before I can get my food on. There's the chili con carne, very nearly done, bubbling away. And inside this one we've got the rice. Oh yeah, very nearly done. Good, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, it's about 6 o'clock at night now. It's pitch black outside. Very nearly ready for my dinner. I'm looking forward to it. Dinner time. I'm going to wash it down with a beer. Guten Appetit. Oh yeah, super job. I'm sockless at the moment. Well, 1 foot anyway. I'm just trying to dry my sock out. I don't know how it got so wet, because in the canoe I was dry. I was paddling and some of the water from the paddle was running down and spraying and splashing onto my legs a little bit. But unless it sort of migrated down my trousers and into my boot, I'm really not sure how my sock got wet. My other sock is a little bit damp, but yeah, it's a mystery. Anyway, let's hope the fire dries it out. There it is, steaming away. You can't see it in this light, it's so dark. But that is my sock. Yeah, I've eaten my food and I've had my drink, and the fire's going well. And it's obviously completely pitch black now. Just listening to the sound of the fire and the sound of nature. It's a very quiet night, but occasionally the silence is punctuated with a sudden shriek of an unearthly sound. Of course, I know it to be the sound of a muntjac deer, but it conjures up some of the legends that come from around the Norfolk Broads area, particularly the legend of the black dog. They say that just before a storm comes, before the storm breaks, that a large beast, dog-like beast, similar to a large wolf, with a shaggy coat, patrols the quiet lanes, riverbanks and beaches in and around the Norfolk area. They say that you can't hear his footsteps coming, but you can hear his howl. Should you hear him, you should immediately go inside, close your eyes and hide, because to look at the beast is to bring upon you a curse, and that you won't see the end of the year out. The legend goes back around about the 16th century, that on one particular morning on a Sunday there was an unearthly tempest and storm in and around the village of Bungay, and that the church was struck by lightning, and then suddenly, to the utter horror and surprise of the congregation, the doors burst open and Black Shuck burst in. He made his way down to the end of the church nave, where 2 people were praying, but it's alleged that he wrung their necks before departing, with scorch marks where his feet ran, and the scorch marks can still be seen by the entrance of the church up until this day. The legend of Black Shuck, demon dog. Okay, you good folk, Hope you have a nice sleep in your comfy, cosy beds, in your centrally heated homes, while I try and forget about the story of Black Shuck and nestle down into my down sleeping bag on this cold November night. See you in the morning. Morning everyone. So I survived through the night, no Black Shuck attack, just plenty of muntjac deer, pheasants and the occasional helicopter. So my first thing that I've got to do is get the fire going so I can get a brew on. So I'm hungry and thirsty and I want a coffee. Yesterday was the first time I actually used my canoe. It's a Sevylor Adventure Plus inflatable canoe. I've only owned it 2 weeks and I've been waiting for a suitable day to come out, and yesterday was the ideal day. There is a problem though. I've had a look at it this morning and the floor has deflated. So that's a big concern. Sides are still up. I'm going to check the pressure with the manometer a bit later on before I set off. But either I've given myself a puncture, which is highly unlikely because I was ever so careful lowering the canoe into the river and pulling it on shore here at camp, or it came with a leak. Oh, who knows? It's going to be difficult to determine. I'm going to have to pump it up and then just see how slowly it goes down. My plan today was to canoe down to Wroxham and Ranworth Broad, where my wife's going to come and pick me up, but if that's deflating, I don't think that that's going to be possible, so I'm probably going to have to change my plans. And I'm looking at maybe inflating it, and if it holds, then I can canoe down the river down towards Wroxham and Hoveton and get out by the side of the river there. Distance from here, that's about 2 k's. So if I put my back into it, maybe I should be able to do that in about 45 minutes. I've just inflated the floor and it was showing about 1 bar 60 psi, which is the correct pressure for the floor. I'm going to take a note of the time. It's 5 to 9 now, so I'll finish off breakfast, come back and check that pressure and see how long it takes to go down. Fingers crossed that it's just a slow leak. These are a couple of special sausages from my butcher's. This is a pork and apple, and this one is a traditional Lancashire sausage. So hopefully we'll get those going in a sec. No sandwich is complete without a little bit of ketchup, don't you think? Now this is the Cumberland sausage. Let's get that ketchup on there. Put that in there. Oh, good. Slightly toasted on that side. Just how I like it. That's the first boat I've seen go by. All good things must come to an end, I suppose, so I'm going to get changed now. I'll just get back in the canoe. Floor of the canoe is pretty much flat, and it's coming up to 10:30, so from full pressure down to flat in about an hour and a half. So finish up here, pump the floor of the canoe up, and then I've got about a K and a half, 2 Ks to canoe to Wroxham, where I'm going to get out. Hopefully I'll make that in under an hour and a half. As you can see, I'm completely packed up. The fire is safe and doused, and I've left the location how I would like to find it, so without a trace. And now to launch the canoe and set off to Roxom. Now I'm in it, the floor feels all right, but that is a bit of a concern. Maybe the valve, when you let the air out, maybe I hadn't tightened the valve up totally, so it was leaking a little bit. Well, I'm fast approaching Wroxham, where I'm going to get out and end this short canoe trip. Thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed it. So I'll end it there, and I'll see you next time. Happy paddling.